Good evening, Australia. Welcome to the show. I'm Michael Kazilny. It's the Michael Kazilny Show. You know, we've been doing this for many years. Tough times never last, but we've changed the name just to inspire. So if you're sitting anywhere in Australia or around the world, I send you my love and best wishes, and thank you for tuning in again. On tonight's coach, the great man, Dr. Ben Cavoso. Cavoso, Ben, and a high performance coach, a doctor, and a really top bloke.
Thank you.
How do you fit it all in? You've got kids, you've got, you studied to be a chiropractor, and I really think you're the new Tony Robbins of Australasia.
You say the right things, Michael. Thanks.
Tell me, because so many people are down these days, you know, but you're always happy and positive. What's your secret?
Well, it's a choice, right? People say that things happen for a reason, and I say we put a meaning to things that happen. I truly believe that we live in a meaningless world.
Yes. That
we constantly get to put meaning to, and we get to choose the meaning. Is it resourceful? Does it empower us? Does it make it strongest? Does it make us more flexible? Does it make us faster? Does it make our lives better? Or do we put a meaning to something that makes us weaker?
So what's your meaning, Dr. Ben?
Well, to life?
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. When I was sitting out there at a cafe this morning, the sun was coming up, Brighton was starting to wake up, the birds were singing, the sun was out. We are so blessed to live in this country, let alone this world.
And we forget sometimes, yours, don't we? Rather than always thinking about the negative stuff, the positive stuff, we often think about the negative stuff, and I really do believe whatever we think about, most of the time we attract. There's no wonder the law of attraction sold millions of copies all around the world. So, Dr. Ben, super fantastic attitude, super fantastic outcomes, average attitude, average outcomes, and poor attitude, poor outcomes. Is that the way the law of attraction works?
I guess so. I think it's more than that. It's more about us making a choice around everything that happens in our life and the meaning that we want to put to it. There's so much opportunity to see the great, to see the good in people. And as you and I have discussed, and I think that's one of the mottos of your law firm, that good people sometimes make mistakes. We all make mistakes throughout our life, but do we come out of that stronger as a result? Do we come out of that changed, a better version? We're constantly getting a choice to upgrade ourselves. This year, in 2020, are you going to be a better version? And in 2021, are you going to be a better version than you were in 2020?
Dr. Ben, when you first got into to study to be a medical practitioner, chiropractic, and was it to help people or to make plenty of dough and fly business class and wear designer clothing? And then to be a coach, is it all about the money and the fame, or is there a deeper purpose to success and happiness?
Oh, I think for me, I had an incredible experience when I was 17. I went and saw a chiropractor. He was a very inspirational guy, a bit like you. And he adjusted my spine, and I came out of that consultation changed. There was something different. The world was brighter. It was more colourful. And I can remember going home to mum and dad, and I wanted to be an engineer at that point. And I said to them, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to become a chiropractor.
But Dr. Ben, let's cut straight to the chase. You weren't always this happy. Something happened along the journey where you hit rock bottom. What was it?
Well, we all have rock bottom moments. This is, you and I have talked about this. This is the hero's journey where we decide to leave home and we set out on an adventure, whether it was my adventure to become a chiropractor or an adventure to start a business, an adventure to start a new relationship. But on the journey, there are these dark moments that occur. And in these dark moments, we have a choice.
And what happened to you?
Well, I had a dark moment, yes. There's been a lot, Michael. But one of the ones that I talk about in my book, of course, was the moment where I fell out of a palm tree and smashed my foot into thousands of pieces. But again, it wasn't what happened, but it was the meaning.
Did that mean a lot to you? Because were you doing a lot of sports at the time? And
yeah.
Just for the viewers, how was that a dark moment?
I was uber successful, right? It was all happening. Life was amazing.
Right.
Great family, great business, great practice. Fell out of the palm tree, thought this was going to be great. I'll take 3 months off. So I put a great meaning to it in the beginning. But then when I took the cast off and I couldn't walk,
right,
I put a new meaning to it that was unresourceful. And I found myself in a very dark place very quickly.
Right.
And this is simply just because I had certain expectations and they weren't being met.
Okay, so almost fell into the pit of depression?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
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 But which was the choice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I truly believe that, that depression is something that you do. It's not part of your character. So I was just choosing to do it. And like all good heroes' journeys, someone comes along and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Mate, this is not like you. You can do better." It was, the magician that appeared. And so I got out of that, which is why I'm here.
Dr. Ben, I've read a lot of books in my time, and this is probably one of the best ones I've ever read. Live CEO, take charge and start doing your life's work, not your busy work. What an amazing book, Amazon bestseller from the great man, Dr. Ben Cavoso. Amazing. What made you write this? And what's it all about?
Well, I always wanted to put together all the bits and pieces, all the conversations that I have with clients, and put it into a book that everybody could use. So, I talk about it's not so much a book that you read, it's actually a coaching book. So as you read through it, you'll get coached by the book. So that's the reason I wanted to read it. But really, it's about helping people stop the busy. So many people are busy. Their lives are full, but they're unfulfilled. They've been shoot on. They've either shoot on themselves or someone has shoot on them. They've said, you should lose weight, you should get a different partner, you should have a bigger job, you should make more money, you should travel, you should stay home. They've been shoot on. And so they're doing the should rather than what they really, really want. So the book is a guide about how to truly get connected with what you want, what is really important with you, put together some powerful plans, know the personality, the character, the kind of ethos you need to bring to your day so that you are productive rather than busy. And if you're productive, you end up wealthy. Wealthy when it comes to relationships, wealthy when it comes to health, wealthy when it comes to money, rather than broke. Most people are busy and broke at the end of the week, the month, or the year, rather than wealthy at the end of the week.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I think I left a video last week, I think in one morning last Friday, about 8 people asked me in 1 hour, "Are you busy? Are you busy? Are you busy?" And I said, "I'm just having fun. I'm just doing my best."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got limited time, limited money, limited energy, and limited sanity. And the question is, how are you spending it? Are you spending that well? Are you investing time, money, and energy so that there's more at the end of the week? That your relationship's better, not worse at the end of the week.
Indeed.
That your health is better at the end of the week rather than worse.
And where can people get this wonderful book, Live
Amazon,
CEO, Dr. Ben?
All good booksellers.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we might talk about the hero's journey very shortly. Thank you very much for watching. The great man, Dr. Ben, will be back very shortly. And welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for watching. Where you're watching in Australia, Australasia, or the world. I think I see everybody like one big happy family. We're all brothers and sisters. And I think the most important thing about the show is just to show loving kindness to each other. And aren't we forgotten? Dr. Ben Cavoso's on the couch. I reckon he's one of the finest high performance coaches in Australasia. I know all the American ones like Zig Ziglar and Wayne Dyer, and a lot of the other ones, unfortunately, a lot of those have passed on, but this guy is fresh and new. He's got a great book, A Live CEO, and he's very authentic. He even shares his own tough times in this book. The hero's journey, Dr. Ben. What's it all about?
Well, you asked me about that tough time, that dark moment that I had earlier, and we all have those tough times. This is the thing that I think your audience need to understand is everybody is having a tough time. Everybody, if they choose to leave home, if they choose to leave the safety of their home and step out, whether it's in a relationship, business, wherever it is, they will eventually get to a dark moment. That is the hero's journey. You head off, and I think you and I had this conversation around Lord of the Rings, and there's that moment where the hobbits leave the Shire, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and everything looks beautiful. But eventually, they get to the dark night. And the wraths come out, and as the story goes. But we all have those dark moments. But it's in those dark moments that we have an opportunity to grow, to come out of the other side a better version of ourselves. I heard someone saying the other day that the darkest and the coldest part of the night is just before daybreak. And many give up in that darkest, coldest moment and turn back and go back home again rather than progress forward.
And Dr. Ben, that could be anything from a relationship breakup to going bankrupt to maybe whatever, and maybe even being struck down with cancer or something, you know.
Of course.
But even what about something so serious as a doctor tells you, hey, you've only got 8 months to live? How do you deal with something like that?
Again, that's a choice. It's that moment where you get to put a meaning to that. Yeah. Is it going to destroy you? Are you going to curl up and do nothing, or are you going to take that challenge on and continue to move forward?
Amazing.
The key with the Dark Knight is to have people around you that champion you. The hero's journey is around the hero being in that dark night and finding a resource, a wizard, someone that comes along and says, hey, let me help you out. Let me champion you. I believe in you. You can do this. That's the work that you do in law. It's the work that we do in healthcare. We get our client and we say, look, I believe in you. You can move forward.
Wow.
I'm here to help.
And that's so important, viewers. You can move forward, whatever you're going through. So it's so true, isn't it? Life comes with 10,000 joys and 10,000 sorrows, and no one's exempt. You know, if we told kids at school that life's 50% great times and 50% challenges, then you wouldn't be up and down all the time. You know, then when a challenge did come, as the great man tells us, we can turn that challenge into making us stronger, and then our whole life can be positive, even though we're going through some dark days. And I suppose we don't call them problems, we call them the challenges of life. What do we call them?
Yeah, I think it's a challenge. And importantly for your viewers, I think they need to understand this is not something you do alone.
No.
That everybody gets stuck. The difference between a successful person and an unsuccessful person is a successful person, first of all, recognizes they are stuck, and then secondly, gets a resource to help them move through. They get a coach, they read a book, they watch a video, they attend a conference, they do something that causes a shift, that causes empowerment in them, so that they come out, they move through that darkness back into the light again, a better version.
Amazing.
We don't get to be the better version without the Dark Knight. This is the catch. Everyone wants to be better, stronger, fitter, faster, but without doing the Dark Knight.
Wow. So you're saying that tough times and adversity builds stronger people, more wholesome people, a better version of us.
You never get stronger without the tough time.
Amazing.
So we welcome the tough times.
Wow. See, that's amazing, isn't it? Some people they think they're exempt from the difficult times, you know. But what I found, having been on this planet for up until now, that the difficult, that life will punch you in the face, and if people go into the pit of self-pity, it's hard to get out again. You know, we've all been there. We all run around saying, I'm happy, I'm this, I'm that, but a lot of people are suffering. In fact, 1 in 3 people are suffering from depression, and overseas, $82 million are spent on antidepressants, and suicide rates about young people now is skyrocketing, even in Australia. What's happened to our mental health compared to, say, 20, 30 years ago, Dr. Ben?
I think these issues have always been around, but the media highlights it at some level. But I think we're living in a world now where we're superficially connected, but not deeply connected.
Yes.
And, you know, as I said before, when these tough times occur, when the dark night occurs, this is not a time to do it alone. This is a time to surround yourself with people that champion you, with friends. You know, you've heard the saying from the old greats, you are the average of the 5 closest people that you hang around with. Who are you hanging around with? Are you hanging around with people that champion you, that lift you up, that ask you to play a bigger game and raise your standards? Or do you hang around with people that say, no, you know?
That is so important, viewers, and I love what you're saying, but a big take-home lesson here is life's too short for useless acquaintances, people. So really do a stock take on the people you're hanging around with. We'll be back very shortly with a great man, Dr. Ben. This is an amazing interview. I love this man. Welcome back to the show. I'm Michael Gazzilni, and Dr. Ben is a great inspiration to many. He's inspired millions, and I think this guy's going to go global very, very soon. High performance coach, but very down to earth, very authentic, very real. He talks the talk, walks the walk, and Dr. Ben, Life CEO, great book. And Ben, life's tough for everybody, isn't it? There's no exemption or exemption slip for anyone.
No. You know, you and I were talking about earlier about the hero's journey and those dark moments. and how that we seem superficially to be more connected, but I believe that we are less connected. The key to connection is vulnerability. We need to be more vulnerable. We need to let people see the true, authentic us. That's what creates connection. But most people are going around and putting on the superficial.
The mask.
Everything's great.
The mask.
It's not really.
This is so important, folks. Just get rid of that social mask. There's all these people suffering, millions upon millions, on antidepressants, and everyone's saying, "How are you, Ellen? How are you, John? How are you, Cindy? I'm great. What are you doing for Christmas? Everything's great all the time. But why don't you treat people in an authentic way how you really feel?" And I think, and thinking less about ourselves and inquiring about the other person is also a very good thing, isn't it?
Yes.
I think that we need to lose all that self-importance, because we always think that someone else is thinking about us, Dr. Ben, and we're worried about the opinions of other people, when in fact my grandfather told me he was concerned about what other people thought for the first 30 years. And then I think then he didn't care until he was 40 what other people thought about him. And then he said at 75, just before I passed away, he realized nobody thinks about us at all. Everyone's concerned with their own stuff.
Yes. Yep. That's right. You know what? When I coach people around speaking on stage, I help them understand that everybody in the audience is too worried about what they look like to worry about what you look like on stage. And earlier, I think what you said is important too, that we need to seek to understand the people that are around us. So often we're quick to give our opinions and our thoughts on things rather than truly seek to understand. True curiosity around someone and their world. The more curious you are with someone, the more you seek to understand them, the more connected you become.
A lot of people say Australians, there's a tall poppy syndrome, that as soon as we achieve a bit of success, people try to cut you down. What's your view on that?
Yeah. So we all have a need for significance. We all have a need to stand out. We all have a need to feel like we're an individual. And there's lots of ways we can do that. There's resourceful ways, good for us and good for others, and unresourceful. The unresourceful way is we cut someone else down. We bully them. We push them down to make ourselves stand out. And yes, I don't think it's just Australia. I think that's globally we see that happening. The other way is we take significance from them, again, by bullying them, by picking fault in them. Or we do, which we see a little bit, which is we become a super wanker. It's about, look at me, look how wealthy I am, look at my success, look at my car, look at my house, look at my lifestyle. Or we do the opposite, which is we do drama queen. You go, think you've got problems. Let me tell you about my problems. Our problems are way bigger than the other. And those three ways give us significance, but very short term. And they leave us feeling empty. The resourceful way to do significance, the resourceful way to truly stand out is to give it to others.
Give what to others?
Give significance.
Wow.
Which is what you're awesome at doing, right?
Wow.
It's like saying, you're a great man. You're worthy. You're amazing. I believe in you.
Oh, I love that. I really got a lot from this interview. And that's so true, isn't it? We always think about ourselves, what other people are thinking about us, and we just lose some of that self-importance, and look at Eastern culture. They're always very humble and very respectful. I think that's why people love staying in hotels in Asian countries. The service is 7-star in here, and people are just, me, my problems, my bank account, but if we just turn that spotlight on the other person and just forget about I for a while,
yes,
and say what you say, put the significance on the other person, life becomes a much better and happier journey, isn't it?
Great for them and great for you. Giving people significance, telling people they're worthy is not just good for them, but it's good for you as well.
That's so, mate. I'm really enjoying this moment, Dr. Ben. This is beautiful. Because in this mental neighborhood right now, there can only be joy, brotherly love. We're not thinking about the past, what's happened. We're not thinking about the future. It's so important just to be grounded in the now, isn't it?
Present.
Yeah.
A lot of us are thinking too much about the next thing.
Yeah.
The next moment, the next day. And that's part of why there is so much tension. There is so much stress. There is so much anxiety around. There is people are thinking about tomorrow and what the world's going to think of them tomorrow. That's
right. There's a conditional sense of happiness. When the kids grow up, when I buy my $5 million mansion in Mount Eliza or in Brighton on the beach, when I write my 3rd book, when I do this, when my poetry gets recognised by everybody, then I'll be happy. But I just realised something. Why not be happy now? Not a bad idea.
It's possible, and it's a choice.
It's a
Happiness
choice.
is a choice.
Yeah.
And I talk about the difference between happiness and joy. When I think about joy, joy is when there is the combination of nervousness and excitement.
Right.
And we're all truly seeking joy, but we want the excitement, but we don't want the nervousness. I went mountain biking this week at night time, head torches down this incredible rugged trail on a mountain bike. And, I finished and I got to the bottom and there was just this incredible joy because I was incredibly nervous, but I was so excited to do it. It's when those two things come together, when your heart is racing.
Is something you do often at night time, Dr. Ben, or is this something unusual?
I like doing some random things like that.
Wow.
I love swimming early in the morning. I know some of the viewers might be thinking, don't swim early in the morning, the sharks are out. But, when the water's dark and it's smooth.
Oh, how exciting is that? And I liked one of your posts a few weeks ago. You went to Sydney, I think, and you just spoke to a complete stranger.
Yes. Yeah. That's where the true joy is. When you go to kiss the girl for the very first time and your heart's racing, but you're smiling with the anticipation.
Dr. Ben, thank you very much for this amazing interview. Go home and kiss your lovely wife.
Yes.
Love and best wishes. You're an amazing fella. You're going to be extremely big all over the world. And viewers, love and best wishes. Thank you very much for joining us. Check all our Facebook pages. I'm Michael Kazilny. All the very best.